moment. Now, before you see exactly how this works, I do want to make sure that we give a proper earnings disclaimer here. I'm not a financial advisor. This isn't financial advice. And no matter how good an opportunity is, obviously we can't make promises. We can't make guarantees. I'm simply sharing my thoughts, my perspective, my own personal experience, and anything that you decide to do with this information is completely up to you. So with that said, what is this all about? Well, recently a good friend of mine contacted me about a new concept that is emerging in the world of cryptocurrency. He said this new technology solves some very important issues that we're currently facing in the space. And unlike all the projects out there that are nothing more than ideas, this technology is already here. He then began to explain how there is a fortune to be made by getting in front of this. And as he began to get into the details of this project, about the players involved and what the numbers could actually look like, I'm sure my face must have looked a little bit like this. Of course, I'm much cuter than this, right? And honestly, if it wasn't coming from someone that I respect, someone that I trust, I probably wouldn't have taken this seriously. I was still quite skeptical. I started doing my own research. And after spending a lot of time doing my due diligence, digging into it for myself, I realized this may be one of the greatest opportunities that we may ever see in our lifetime, and it's opening up right now through cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. And to really see this opportunity clearly, it's important to first think about where most of the wealth has been created in cryptocurrency so far. And if you ask any expert, anyone that actually knows what they're talking about, they'll tell you that most of the wealth has been created through cryptocurrency mining. And this is a fact. Many of the people who were smart enough to get involved with mining early made absolute fortunes. Now, the real opportunity with mining has already come and gone. However, to understand where the opportunity is moving forward, it's important to understand what cryptocurrency mining actually is. And so to put it very simply, mining is the process of validating cryptocurrency transactions using computers. So using Bitcoin as an example, every time Bitcoin is sent and received, each one of these transactions is validated with mining. So again, mining is simply the use of computers to validate cryptocurrency transactions. Makes sense, right? Now, every time a transaction is validated, the miner that validated the transaction is rewarded with more cryptocurrency. That's why they do it. That's how mining works. And like I said, many of the miners that got in early made a fortune by simply providing the computing power to validate transactions. Makes sense, right? Well, understand there are some major issues with this validation model. These are some of the biggest hurdles, some of the biggest challenges right now in the cryptocurrency space. And the solutions emerging are creating a tremendous opportunity for those of us who are in front of this. And to clearly understand this opportunity, it's important that we quick touch on some of the problems with cryptocurrency mining and why these new solutions are so important. And so first of all, understand mining is not as profitable as it was in the past. If you understand mining, it becomes more difficult over time. There's also a lot more competition. And so more recently, many people have been getting out of mining. And right now, most of the validation for cryptocurrency is being done by a small group of miners with very large operations. As an example, Bitmain is one of the largest mining operations in the space. It's being said that Bitmain is validating over half of all the transactions on the network. And so really it's Bitmain and a relatively small group of companies like this who are validating most of the cryptocurrency transactions. And obviously, if something was to happen to Bitmain or one of these other large operations, it would cause a major disruption. It could be devastating to the entire network. And so not only has this created points of vulnerability, it's given this small group a lot of say-so, a lot of control, a lot of power over the network. And speaking of power, cryptocurrency mining consumes a great deal of energy in order to power all these computers. It's being said that if we continue down this path, in the near future, over half the world's entire energy supply will be consumed by cryptocurrency mining. And so think about it for a moment. Does this make any sense? We would have this small group of miners validating all the transactions using over half the world's energy supply, and they're going to have all the control, all the power over the network. Obviously, this does not make sense. It is not sustainable. There are better solutions that are already here. And like I said, there is a tremendous opportunity opening up to us through these solutions. So pay attention to what we're about to get into here, because this has the potential to be life-changing for the people that know about it. So to understand this, first of all, in the world of cryptocurrency, the mining validation model is known as proof of work. A new superior validation model is called proof of stake. And there are many advantages, many benefits to the proof of stake model, which is why many of the new coins, many of the new projects are looking to implement this technology. Now, to keep this simple and make it easy to understand, unlike mining, which uses computing power to validate transactions, with proof of stake, anyone that holds the base cryptocurrency can become a validator. So by simply holding this coin, holding this cryptocurrency, you can participate in the validation of transactions. Now, with proof of stake, the number of transactions that you validate is based upon the amount of stake that you have in that cryptocurrency. In other words, the amount of that cryptocurrency that you're holding. So as an example, if you owned 1% of X cryptocurrency, that means that you would end up validating 1% of X cryptocurrency's transactions. It makes sense, right? And then for every transaction that you validate, you are rewarded with a part or the whole of the transaction fee. And so again, with proof of stake, the way you become a validator is by simply holding the cryptocurrency, and then every transaction that you validate earns you a reward, which can be all or part of the transaction fee. Pretty simple, right? And so this is similar to mining, but with many advantages. With staking, you can participate in the validation process, receiving these rewards without having to purchase expensive computers. And understand, there are many benefits to setting the network up this way. First of all, this solves the power issue and is completely scalable, which is critically important. It is also more secure. It gives the network more integrity. And because the validation process is spread across the network, being done by the people that make up the network, we no longer have a small group with all the power, with all the control, which is really the point of having a decentralized network, right? And that's the way that cryptocurrency is supposed to be, decentralized. And with this model, the people are rewarded for being part of the network. And think about it, without the people, there is no network. With this, the people have a reason to be there. As validators, they are being rewarded for participating. And understand, the rewards can be substantial depending upon the coin, depending upon the project. And you're about to see where the real money is, where we believe there's an absolute fortune to be made as proof of stake validators. And before we get to that, I want to cover one last thing that'll help you to understand this. So this is an article on CoinSutra, 9 most profitable proof of stake cryptocurrencies. And if you've been around cryptocurrency, then you are sure to have heard of some of these coins. We've got Dash, we've got Neo, PivX, Redcoin, Neblio, Qtum, OK Cash, Navcoin, Stratus. Now going back to the number one coin here, which is Dash. To become a staker, a validator of Dash, you would need 1,000 Dash coins. And by simply holding these Dash coins in your Dash wallet, you'd be looking at a gain of approximately 7.5% per year, which isn't bad, especially for just holding these coins in your wallet, right? And this is if the price of Dash was to remain the same. If the price of the coin was to go up, this would be additional profits. We'll talk more about that in a moment. With Neo, you'd be looking at approximately 5.5% per year. With PivX, you'd be looking at approximately 4.8% per year. Redcoin around 5%. Neblio around 10%. Qdom around 8%. OK Cash around 10%. And again, this does not take into consideration any increase in the value of the coins. This is the approximate annual reward value for being a staker, for being a validator on the network. And so this is a pretty good gain for simply holding onto these coins. And understand, most of these projects are in the development stage. The technology is still being developed. If they were fully functional and they were being used in the real world, of course, there'd be a lot more transactions and the profits would be substantially higher as well. It makes sense, right? Now, pay attention to this. We're at CoinMarketCap, and you can see the price of Dash as of today is $164.54 per coin. In order to become a staker, a validator, you would need to be holding a minimum of 1,000 Dash coins. Holding 1,000 Dash coins is what we call having a master node. This is the technical terminology, which simply means you are a validator of Dash transactions. And so the cost today to acquire a masternode to become a Dash validator would be $164,540. That is the cost of 1,000 Dash coins. Now think about this. What if you had gotten in early, and if you had purchased $1,000 worth of Dash at $1 each? Your $1,000 would now be worth over $164,000. And if you had purchased $1,000 worth of Dash at 10 cents each, your $1,000 would now be worth over $1,640,000. And this is just from the increase in the value of the coin. It does not include the profits generated from validating Dash transactions. So not bad for simply acquiring and holding coins in your wallet, right? And understand, I am not recommending Dash or any of the projects that I've mentioned in this video. I've known about proof of stake for quite some time. I've looked at most of these projects very closely, and none of these projects are of interest to me personally. The reason I say that is most of these projects are just ideas. The technology is still being developed, and until the technology gets to the point where companies, businesses actually want to use this technology, the opportunity for transaction validators is going to be very limited. With that said, the greatest opportunities are just beginning to emerge. Obviously, proof of stake is going to play an important role in the future of cryptocurrency. And this is going to create a tremendous wealth building opportunity for people who get involved as transaction validators for the right projects moving forward. So hopefully that gives you some idea of how proof of stake works. Like I said, the greatest opportunities for validators are just beginning to emerge. As an example, we have a project that is so far ahead of everything else out there, where all these other projects are just ideas. We have a project with working technology. It was just featured in Forbes magazine. The founder has been interviewed by NASDAQ a couple of times, is speaking at BlockChain conferences all over the world, and companies are lining up to get involved with this new technology. And the coin actually increases in value
For every company that comes on board, there could be thousands, if not tens of thousands of companies using this technology in the very near future. And so for people that hear about this early, people like yourself, the potential is truly mind-boggling. Now, I'm not a financial advisor. This isn't financial advice. The only advice that I'll give you is to do the research, take a close look at it, and then make an intelligent decision for yourself. So to learn more about this, all you have to do is click the button below. So go ahead and do that now, and we will see you in the next video.